Hello everybody, my name is Reynolds and welcome back to my channel. So this video is a second video in a series that is meant to prepare you to pass the Polish state language exam at the level of B1. So I just want to remind you everybody that I prepared this series for those with a good grasp of the Polish language and are basically preparing to take this exam. So if you have a level that is at least intermediate, you already know the foundations of the Polish language, you know how the alphabet, you can speak at a say a decent level, you have some you can read text, you can understand, you can hear, you can speak. So this series is for you, but I'm also encouraging those who are willing to take the test in future to also watch these videos so they can know how to prepare once they get to this level. So let's begin. So in this video, we're going to talk about the writing, which is called PISANIE. PISANIE is the fourth part of the examination, and it is the most challenging part of the examination, in my opinion. The reason being, you have about 1.5 hours to answer 2 questions. So you have like 2 questions. You have 1 question which is subdivided into 2 tasks. So the first task is usually an easy task. When I talk about an easy task, you're going to get something like an invitation. You are writing an invitation to a friend, a colleague. You could be writing a short email to a friend, telling them how you have been. You could be writing greetings to a family member, and then the second task is a long task, which is an essay. It usually consists of up to 200 words, but on average you get 170 words, so it's a longer task, and this needs much more preparation. In my experience, I would say that the short task is a must score 100 points for, like, not just 100 points, at least 70% of the points you have to score it from the short task. Now, I'm going to share my strategy on how you can successfully crash this exam. I know many of you, when they hear about pisanie, writing in Polish, they get scared. But trust me, I've done this before, so it is something that if you practice well, you can do it. So yeah, these are the strategies I want to share with you guys. So how do you prepare? Say you can you have your own handwriting, you have written in Polish before. So how to prepare? So number 1 tip, write as often as possible. So you need to practice writing, and I would encourage you to practice writing a minimum of 5 times every week for at least 8 weeks before the exam. So there is actually a saying in English, for those who know, that practice makes perfect. In Polish, it goes for praktyka czyni mistrza. So the more you write, the better you get at it. Just like every other task we do, every other skill that we learn in our lives, you have to practice to get better. So the slogan is write, write, write. The more you write, the more you also build your confidence before the exam. So just imagine if you do not write, if you only write 5 or 6 essays, 5 or 6 tasks or short essays that you've been writing just before the exam. This is the only writing you have done. When you get to the exam, what happens? You will panic when you get something, when you get a different task, or when you don't have enough time. So this is why you must write. Number 2, you have to go through all the past papers that are being uploaded to the certificate.pl website. So you need to write all the past paper questions from the year 2017 to 20, I believe we're in 2026, 2025, end of 2025 now. Because usually it takes a few months before the examination body uploads they just concluded exam. So so I'm counting until the end of 2025. So you have to you have to go through all the papers, and you need to simulate an examination scenario. So what do I mean by simulate? You basically take some time off, pick one task, a zestaw. It could be zestaw pierwszy, drugi, or trzeci. Start your stopwatch, then read the task and start to write. So once you're done, assume you're in an exam. Once you're done, and which leads me to the next tip. Once you're done, you have to grade yourself. So how do you grade yourself? You grade yourself using, luckily now we have artificial intelligence tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity AI, and Google Gemini, and so it all depends on your preference. Now, in my preparation, I was using Perplexity AI because I found it to be extremely helpful and resourceful when it comes to correcting my mistakes and actually offering new tips. And I was lucky then because I had a paid version. So I would recommend using Perplexity AI. What you have to do is basically you write on a piece of paper, you take a photo of the task that you have written and upload it to the AI with a question. Just ask it to grade you at that level. So usually the AI, it offers you a tip. The AI would offer you a tip, some tips on what you could change. It can offer you even a rewritten answer to the task. So the idea here is to see what you could have done better. So you grade yourself, get a grade, and once you have reread your mistakes, this is also the fourth tip is that read your mistakes, and if possible, rewrite again using the tips from the AI. Number 5, you must write legibly. So I know a lot of you have their own way of writing, maybe from high school, from primary school, you're used to that, but you have to write legibly, because if you don't write legibly, the examiners are not able to, they won't be able to make out your writing. Yeah, so you need to, in Polish it's called orthografia. You need to learn how to write the alphabet in Polish correctly. So all these endings of words, funny characters must be written in a way that is legible. You don't have to have the best handwriting, but you have to practice in such a way that your handwriting is at least legible. If it's legible by the AI, it should be legible by the examiners. Remember, a legibly written essay or answer to a task makes the work of your examiner easy. Yep. So moving on, we have the 6th tip. So when writing, you have to read the question, and you have to answer the question based on the topic. So what happens is this: you go to an exam, you get the task, you pick your zestaw, and you're talking about writing a letter to say Biuro Podróży, which is a tour company in Poland, writing a letter on how you are the best candidate for a job that they advertise, and then you're just basically arguing for yourself, yeah, just to make sure that it's like a letter of motivation. So if you get such a task, you have to write a letter of motivation. You cannot write an invitation letter. You must write based on the topic. And this is very important. If you do not write based on the topic, then you are likely to fail because a lot of points will be removed. And after writing on the topic, you need to pay attention to the number of words. So this is a very, very, very important tip. The number of words cannot be more than 10% of the designated words or less than 10% of the designated word. What do I mean by this? If you have 30 words that must be in your writing, in your task, then you just do 10% of 30, and then you cannot exceed that. You cannot exceed also less than 10% of 30. I believe 10% of 30 should be around 3 words. So around 5 words. You cannot write more than 5 or 5 less words. So you have to be keen on this. So writing on topic and writing the correct amount of words is very important. This guarantees that you will get at least half the points. that are required for both tasks. Number 7 tip is that just once again, I was talking about practice. So if once you write a lot, you're building confidence. It's just the same way when you speak in a foreign language, you speak more, you gain confidence. So when you write a lot, you'll not need to use the section called Broodnopis. So this section is basically for you to develop your strategy just before you begin to write on the main section. So think of it as a forgot the word in English, but it's like a dirty section. Yeah. So you have like it's usually at the end it's written Broodnopis and you have to write your strategy and then later just write on the top. So when you write a lot, you save a lot of time. You don't need to actually go to the Broodnopis because you will write directly to the main section. This is what I did. And in my opinion, is the most effective way. It saves you a lot of time because examination time, even though it's almost 2 hours, it flies fast. Yeah. So write as much as possible so that when you get the task, you know what to write and you write directly to the section. Obviously, you can use this Broodnopis section to write a few words, develop a short strategy, but do not waste time because this section is usually not read. It's not examined by the examiners. Number 8, tip number 8. In your writing, I strongly encourage you to use transition words. And what do I mean by transition words? Transition words are stuff like blatego, which means that's why. Uważam, że, this is I think that, mimo że, this is although. So you need to use a transition words. W związku z tym, like therefore. These are words that even in English essay writing, they build the complexity of your sentences. They enable you to join different sections of your sentences and to form more structured, better structured sentences instead of writing like I went to the shop, I came back. So you have to use transition words. They will help you, and they help you actually achieve the minimum required number of words when you're writing. The number 9, in the exam, do not wait to start writing 10 minutes before the clock is up. So the moment immediately you get the paper, read the task, spend a maximum of about 10 minutes thinking about what you're going to write and how you will write it, and begin immediately. This is important because you do not want to waste time in the exam. The examination time flies fast. Trust me, I've been in a situation. So you think that like you have 2 hours, but before you know it, you're struggling with a second task. You wasted so much time. So the best tip here is to spend a maximum of 10 minutes read and understand the task and begin immediately. Do not waste time, and don't be discouraged when you see one or two examination members or other colleagues you're taking the exam with. They are done after 20 to 30 minutes. Some get finished at 1 hour. Remember, you have to write at your own pace, but also do not waste time as long as you finish in the right time. So these are the tips I wanted to share with you in this video, and maybe in the next section I will show you what it looks like to practice